The Adirondacks Camping Trip by Michael James. May 27th, 6:30 a.m. Journal entry number 144. Today is the day. John, Ricky, and I will be heading up to the Adirondacks for a weekend camping trip. I'm up early to prepare everything I'll need. I've got my Coleman lantern and extra kerosene packed in the pickup. I bought 3 bug nets yesterday to put over our hammocks since we won't be using a tent. I bought a newspaper at the gas station to use for a fire starter. Along with the other essentials like my toothbrush, canteen, knife, sleeping bag, and a pack of clothes, I think I'm ready. I should grab some hot dogs to toss into the cooler before picking up John. And maybe I should grab my mocha pot so we can have some coffee. But other than that, things are packed and ready to go. Ricky told me he's bringing his fishing rods. I haven't gone fishing since I was a teenager. I'm not even sure I still remember how to cast a line, but I look forward to the possibility of eating a fish I caught myself. John said the spot he picked is quite the gem. His friend Todd showed it to him a few years back. According to Todd, not many people know about this spot. Every time he's gone, no one else is there, making for a peaceful camping experience. It's a little off the beaten trail, but John says it's worth the drive. He also mentioned the scenic cliff hike that overlooks the pond we'll be camping near, which piqued my interest more than anything else. That reminds me, I need to grab my camera gear if I hope to get some good shots. Maybe this trip will be more than catching up with friends. Maybe adding to the portfolio will finally get my photography career off the ground. Who knows? One can dream. I'm looking forward to the trip. We've been planning it for months now. With John's new work schedule and Ricky moving up north last year, it's been hard to find a time the boys could get together again. I miss spending time with them like the good old days. It's funny how life does that. The very memories it bears, it so often strips away. I'm heading for my morning run now. After a shower, I'll pick up John, and this adventure will be underway. May 27th, 9 a.m. Journal entry number 145. John finally answered one of my calls. I had to call him 6 times before he woke up. Bad news, he said. I'm sick as a dog. I don't think I'll be camping with you this weekend. Of course this would happen. Something always goes wrong when it comes to planning a trip. I told Ricky the news. Thankfully, he was still up for meeting me there, even if John wasn't coming. Neither of us had been to the spot before, but John said it shouldn't be hard to find. He sent me an address to a gas station near the campsite. Once you pass the gas station, there will be a pull-off a few miles up. You can't miss it, he said. I'll send the address to Ricky and pass on the instructions. It's a 3-hour drive from Lakewood, so I'll have to get on the road soon if I want to be able to set up camp and get some pictures before sundown. One man down, but the trip is still alive. May 27th, 11:30 a.m. Journal entry number 146. I'm parked at a gas station called Nice and Easy on Route 3, but there hasn't been anything easy about this trip. Ricky just called me. He said he's not coming anymore. I told him I'm already almost there, but said he got a flat on the way and he's still waiting for AAA to pick him up. I guess he didn't bring a spare. Now I'm left with a decision to make. I can go back home, put everything back in the shed, and wait until next summer when a weekend we're all free opens up. Or I can keep going and camp alone. I hated the thought of turning back. Driven over 2 hours at this point. My GPS says I'm 17 miles away. It'd be a waste to turn around now. But the idea of camping alone wasn't very appealing either. I'm trying to think if there's anyone I can ask last minute to join me, but no names come to mind. I decide I'll just continue. At least I can get some good shots for my portfolio. Maybe this trip will still be worth it in the end. May 27th, 1 p.m. Journal entry number 148. I'm not sure if I'm at the campsite or not. I tried calling John, but I have no signal. I think I found the gas station he mentioned, but it's closed down, so I couldn't ask for directions. I drove up and down the road multiple times before finding an overgrown track through the woods. It seems more like a quad bike track, making it a tight squeeze for the Chevy. It was more than a few miles up, like John had said, but maybe he misremembered the exact location. Or maybe I'm in the completely wrong place. I don't know, but at this point, I don't think it really matters, and I don't really care. Either way, I find myself now in the woods surrounded by conifers. The old track doesn't seem to lead anywhere, just stopped at the foot of a tree. There's not even a turnaround. Pulling out is going to be a nightmare, but that's a problem for future me. For now, I'm going to head out and try to find a spot to set up camp. Hopefully I can find a trail of some sort to follow, but that seems unlikely. If this place is as remote as John says, I might be in over my head. May 27th, 4:30 p.m. Journal entry number 149. I just finished picking my spot. It's an open area with 2 beech trees growing just far enough apart I can set up my hammock. I'm only about 100 yards from the truck. I don't want to go too far since there isn't a path or trail to follow. I found a pond, but I'm unsure if this is the one John referred to. It's small, more of a flooded swamp if you ask me. I doubt there's any fish bigger than a sunny in there. Doesn't matter anyway. Can't fish without a rod. I do see a mountain on the other side of the water. I think I'll take a hike in the morning. As long as I can keep this pond in view, I shouldn't get lost. I bet a picture from up there will look better than down here. If I could just get one good shot, then this trip won't be such a chalked failure after all. I guess it's time to set up camp. There's a large flat rock near my spot. I'll build a little fire on top before I'm out of light to work with. May 27th, 9 p.m. Journal entry number 150. There's nothing like a smoked hot dog over a fire. I enjoyed 3 before tossing the rest back into the cooler. As the sun dies down, I stare at the crackling fire through my bug net, its flames dancing in the air. I wish John and Ricky were here with me. I sent a photo of my setup, but my phone has no service, so they won't receive it until I leave tomorrow. The sound of the night is both enchanting and haunting at the same time. The pops of the fire, the yips of a distant coyote, the leaves fluttering in the wind, the croak of bullfrogs by the pond, the chirps of crickets all around. It was the song of the forest, and I was its audience. I found comfort in writing this. It takes my mind off the loneliness out here. It removes the thoughts of a bear or another predator coming to my campsite. But with the light of my fire dying, I decide it's time to rest. I look forward to what tomorrow holds. May 28th. Time unknown. Journal entry number 151. I'm at a loss of words. I don't know where to begin, how to even describe what I feel. I'm stupefied beyond belief, horrified even, mystified of how any of this is possible. I've been awake for about 30 minutes now. The sun has yet to rise. By the dimness of light, I would guess it's about 5 a.m., maybe 6. I woke from the chill of morning and went to reach for my hoodie I left hanging on a nearby branch, but it was gone. Presuming it had fallen, I reached below, but felt nothing but leaves. I peeked over the edge of my hammock to find that it was gone. All was gone. My hoodie, my cooler, and worst of all, my backpack. My backpack has my keys, wallet, phone, and camera gear. Without it, I'm stranded with nothing but what I slept with, my canteen and pocket journal. It took a great deal of time to work up the courage to climb out of the hammock. I feel watched, like someone is lurking behind a tree. Before I felt fear from being alone, now I wish for nothing more. I'm checking my surroundings, but can't find any evidence of someone else being here. There's no footprints, no marks in the dirt and leaves that provide insight on the matter. I guess I'm gonna head for my truck. I don't know what use it is without my keys. I don't even know if it's still there. For all I know, it's been stolen along with everything else. But I guess I'll go find out. May 28th. Midday? Question mark. Journal entry number 152. I am lost in the Adirondack Mountains. I have no sense of direction. The sun is high above me, so I assume it's sometime around noon. I've been hiding for God knows how long. I was heading for the truck, maybe 10 yards away, nearing it quickly as I felt frantic from my belongings being missing. That's when I saw it. Quad bike parked right behind me. I could only assume the owner of the quad was the same person who had stolen my things. I stopped in the woods, staying quiet as I searched the area. I didn't see anyone, but that didn't mean they couldn't see me. Thinking back, I'm trying to consider why they would steal from me. Maybe someone owns this land? I'm not supposed to be here. They could have just told me. But none of that matters now. What happened next forced me into the predicament I am in now. Knowing my truck was locked, I walked past and headed down the trail. My goal was to get to the road and find help as soon as I could. The situation was precarious, and I wasn't taking chances sticking around in uncharted territory with someone else possibly watching. The trail's unlevel, tire-printed tracks were longer than I remember from driving in yesterday. I thought I would reach the road in a matter of minutes, but I was wrong. Before I could even see the clearing, the sound of a quad bike was coming from behind. I began to run, hoping the road was just out of sight, just up ahead, but the roar of the engine approached faster. I looked behind and now could see the quad. The rider was an older man, long gray hair and a full beard, a scar creeping down from his left eye. I stopped for a moment, thinking he would slow as he approached to tell me to get off his land or something, but instead, the engine was revved louder and he began to approach faster. I jumped off the path in fear of being hit. He flashed past me before coming to a halt, trapping me from escaping to the road. And that's when I booked it through the woods. No sense of direction or logic to which way I went. My mind just told me to run and not to look back. He obviously did not want to talk, and didn't seem to want me to leave either. I don't think a man of that age could catch me, but I wasn't risking to find out. I've climbed up and down hills, crossed a stream, and even climbed a tree where I now sit and write this. I think my best option is to wait until nightfall. We'll wait to see which direction the sun sets to find west, and then walk in that direction in hopes of finding the road before running into the wild man. Day unknown. Time unknown. Journal entry number 153. If I had to guess, I believe it is the evening of May 29th, but I could be wrong. I've blacked out and am uncertain for how long. After waiting for the sun to fall, I proceeded with my plan of walking through the woods in the night. My feet ached and my stomach hurt from exhaustion. Adrenaline was all that carried me forward. I had walked for what seemed like a few hours and still did not come across the road. I knew Route 3 was probably nearby, but how close? There was no way to say. Was I lost? Did I get turned around? I don't know. The only thing I was sure of was that I heard something. Whether it was the man from earlier that day tracking me, or perhaps a wild animal wandering the forest, or maybe my paranoia sending false signals to my ears. I heard something out there among the moonlit trees. It was hard to know from which direction, so I pushed forward, picking up the pace, running like a zombie in the darkness to keep from running into a tree. Leaves and sticks crunched under each step as I did my best to not roll an ankle or trip over rocks and roots. A large crack was heard from behind, causing me to run even faster. This turned out to be a dangerous mistake. Last I remember, I was falling down a steep, rocky hill, screaming, fumbling with my arms stretched in defense, hoping to catch myself. I remember hitting my back on a tree and my shoulder slamming a rock before my body finally stopped rolling. That's when I blacked out. Can't see it, but I feel dry blood caked to my face and hair. My shirt is stained with it too. I'm not sure where on my head I'm bleeding from, and I'm afraid to feel around without being able to see. I thought about pouring water on my head to clean the wound, but I must have lost my canteen during the descent. I've searched nearby, but I can't find it. Fairly light out, and it seems to be getting darker. If I'm gonna find the road, my only option is to keep moving. My body screams in dismay when I try to even stand. There's no time to waste. There's a chance my predator's still out there. Though I will likely be moving at a snail's pace, I shall push onward in order to survive. My body may give out before I find help, but while I'm still breathing, I'll persevere. Nothing has gone to plan on this trip. Thinking back, I believe God tried to warn me. Why did I push onward? Why did I think that camping alone was a good idea? I don't know. I cannot live dwelling on the past. I'll reap the consequences of my own decisions. But one day, if I do make it out of here alive, this will make for a damn good story to tell. June 1st, 3 p.m. Journal entry number 154. I stumbled upon this journal earlier today during my hike. I am not the original owner, nor do I know the owner. Front page says it was owned by a man named Paul Maverick. Perhaps he dropped it on his way out. Are you still alive, Mr. Maverick? Cannot say, but I intend to find out. One minor correction to the entries you've transcribed. My scar is under my right eye.